So the standings, the Soviet Union with 14 in first place, Czechoslovakia and Sweden with 9 each, and Canada with 8 points, the top 4 teams in the championship round. Today, Canada and the Soviet Union. This is Bernie Pascal with Lou Nanny, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. And we'll be back with the first period play-by-play as the World Hockey Championship on CTV continues. And the first period is underway. The referee is Dag Olsen of Sweden. The puck is cleared to Craig Hartsburg, trying to get a pass to Bill Barber on the left side, and that's intercepted by the Soviet Makarov. Cleared around the board. Fetisov goes after it. Here's a chance for Canada's shot, and Barber tried to deflect it in front, and it just went wide. The puck in behind the Soviet net. There's no score between Team Canada and the Soviets, and we're in the first minute of play. Here's Makarov heading for the front of the net. The pass comes to the side, a shot, and that bounced off the post as Joe Malage, the goaltender for Canada, had lost his stick. Now this is Kazatonov in his own zone for the Soviets. The pass comes out to center, and it's taken by Team Canada's Kevin Lowe. Lowe drops it to Giles, ahead to Gretzky. Canada now on the attack. Giles passed it over to Lowe, his shot, and that goes wide of the Soviet net. And it's deflected up over the glass and out of play.
Well, Bernie, this game has started off at a little slower pace than yesterday, although the Soviets did have a good chance there. Puck coming off the post behind Milosh and across the front right here, 3-on-2. A good move to the offside by Larionov over to Makarov, but it went behind Milosh and out across the goal post. With both clubs having a very strong game last night, the pace started off in that first shift a little slower.
Ready for the draw, Cicerelli, number 17 for Team Canada, against Shepeliev, number 21 of the Soviet Union. Kapustin, Shepeliev, and Shelemov, the forward line out there for the Soviets. And this is Vasiliev, number 6 in his own zone. He's on defense now with Sergei Babinov. Puck is cleared ahead. Here's Giles of Team Canada. Bob Caney deflects it into the Soviet zone. He bumps with Vasiliev, a chance in front. A shot by Kevin Lowe, and that hits the net. It's taken by Smith. Behind the net to Bob Gainey with Cicerelli, tried to jam it in. Cicerelli now, number 17 for Canada. He called down by Vasiliev, no penalty there. Lowe, number 12 for Canada. He's checked by Kapustin. Puck is cleared off the boards by Babinov, and it comes ahead to number 23, Shelemov. Up over the line goes Kapustin. Kapustin, number 8, swings into the corner. Shepeliev right in front. A shot. He scores. Shepeliev, and it's 1-0 for the Soviets.
Shepeliev coming out of the corner on actually a 2-on-1 situation, fakes the puck over to the slot area. When he gets it here, you'll see a Soviet come into the picture, faking it, stepping out, getting his own rebound right there on his backhand and putting it just by Milosh's glove. You'll see right here the defenseman taking one man, that's being Shepeliev, away from the net after the puck had already gone in.
So the time of the goal, 2:01. Shepeliev opens the scoring for the Soviet Union. Ilya Letonov, number 14, he's checked. Here's a chance. Propp went after the puck and just failed to reach him. Kozhevnikov, he comes in. Number 16, a shot. Kozhevnikov, and that was stopped by Joe Malage. Canada trying to get out of their own zone. The puck comes out to center ice. The Soviets leading by a score of 1-0. Now they backhand the puck into the Team Canada zone. After it there for Canada, John Van Boxmeer. Propp is checked along the boards, trying to take the puck loose, and it comes out to center ice. And the Soviets for Bukin. Number 5 gets it up on the left side. Shumanev, number 28, on right wing looking for a pass, and it's brought out by Team Canada. Daryl Sittler, he slapped at it, and Kazatonov fired it right back into the corner. Van Boxmeer gets it to center ice. Now here's a chance for Daryl Sittler, coming up with Mark Napier and Clark, but that's intercepted by Kazatonov. Hartsburg back in for Canada, but it's called on the offside.
Napier just got caught trying to get out of the zone, not in time, as Hartsburg right there was moving in. Offside on the play, Russia leading 1-0.
Bobby Clark against Luketov for this face-off. The puck is slapped over. Here's Reinhardt bringing it in, and it's offside. At the Lawala, it sounded like a whistle, but now the play continues. Hartsburg clears it up. Sittler fires it in. Tretiak deflects it off the board. Mark Napier behind the net. Clark to Sittler. Here's Sittler trying to jam it on the short side, and he's checked by Benisov. Kazatonov. A pass up to Drozetsky, and it got away from him. Hartsburg breaks that up and sends it back to the Soviet line. Canada brings it back in. Bobby Clark trying to get a pass to Mark Napier. Reinhardt, and it's offside at the Soviet line.
Canada having a good opportunity just previous to that. Both Clark and Sittler working behind the net, almost freeing the puck out front to Barber as he was coming on a line change. Canada having to get a scoring opportunity here to try and get back in this game quickly.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the world.
Welcome back to Helsinki, Finland. This is Bernie Pascal along with Lou Nanny, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars, and the Soviet. Hartsburg, a shot, late from the draw.
Off down there, Tretiak didn't have to hold that puck. He could have put it down and played it. Face-off comes, won by Sittler, back to Hartsburg. The shot is just partially got by Tretiak through his legs, the same place that Barber scored last night. Craig Hartsburg right there, tying the game up for Team Canada.
So Hartsburg from Daryl Sittler, and it's a 1-1 tie. Hartsburg, a first-round draft pick in 1979, a member of the Minnesota North Stars, and he's played outstanding hockey for Team Canada and gets the tying goal here in the first period. Both teams at full strength. Tumanev tried to get it out. Here's a chance for Canada again. Mark Napier backhands it into the corner now. Goes Reinhardt. He's knocked against the boards. The puck to the line, but not out. A shot right on. Tretiak stops that. As Napier fired away. Trying to get that lead pass to number 25, Golikov. And it's icing against the Soviet Union.
Golikov up high as there was a lot of pressure being put on Tretiak, was floating out by the red line. Hartsburg back there with him. And a long pass, but that man right there, Hartsburg would have had Golikov covered anyway in the game. 1-1 on Hartsburg's goal.
The goal scorers, Shepelyev and Hartsburg, a 1-1 tie in the first period in Helsinki, Finland. The Soviet Union against Team Canada. Now the Soviets, Luketov on the left side. Trying to get the pass in front to Drozetsky. That failed, and Canada comes back, wins the game. There's a drive by Five. Taken by Bill Barber on the rebound. Lets it go. That's not Five. And he sends it through the crease. Rick Five, two big scoring opportunities there, but Tretiak stopped the initial drive. It's cleared into the Soviet zone. Barber backhands it to Gretzky. Gretzky is stopped there by Babinov. Goes after the puck and taken heavily against the board. Soviets in their own zone. Now it's Luketov. Brings it into the Team Canada zone as he looks it into the corner. Number 5 for Canada is Rick Green. He's bumped against the boards by Drozetsky. And Wayne Gretzky has it now for Canada, gives it to Barber. Bill Barber, who scored the opening goal for Canada yesterday in Tampere, shoots it into the Soviet zone. Babinov, number 4, up the middle down to 23, Shalamov. He's stopped. And the pass goes right to Bob Gainey of Canada. Gainey gives it to defenseman Kevin Lowe. Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers, his shot. That took a weird bounce on Tretiak, but he steers it to the corner. Now it comes out to center ice. Lowe, watched by Shalamov. A 1-1 tie. Lowe will get the puck again. Gets it ahead. Here's a chance now for Cicerelli. Coming in with Smith, a shot. And that bounced off defenseman Vasilia. In behind the net, Bobby Smith for Canada. He's checked, and the puck is taken by Babinov. Babinov fired it right over the top of his own net and almost hit Tretiak. Now the Soviets inside their own line. It's Shalamov. He's checked by Bobby Smith. Cicerelli. This line doing a good job of tying up the Soviets. They're having difficulty getting up to the center ice area. Now Babanov does, and he shoots it into the Team Canada zone. Jill Malott in goal for Canada. Krejciak, the goaltender for the Soviets. Here's Brian Frost, number 26, a bouncing shot. Krejciak stops that rebound. Taken by Dale Howardchuk, was also stopped. Gartner in front. Here's a shot by Hartsburg, and that's off the target. As Gartner's tied up in the Soviet zone. Puck comes out to center. Makarov was lined up there by Hartsburg, and he just failed to connect on that shot. Canada doing an excellent job of tying up the Soviets. Here's Reinhardt. And Perbukin tries to get the puck. Reinhardt knocks it off his stick. As Canada right on top of the Soviets, every opportunity, and they keep it in the Soviet zone. 1-1 tie. Billy Eletnov is stopped by Gartner. Gartner directed in front and shot by Sittler. And that was stopped by the defense for Bukin. Now the Soviets get it out to center ice. Reinhardt is checked there. Sittler off the board. Perbukin gets it ahead now. Here's a chance. Makarov. Makarov to Lurionov trying to get a shot, and it rolled off his stick. As they go end to end. Here's Sittler. A pass up on the right side, and Napier is offside at the Soviet line. And what a pace.
Great pressure, Bernie. Started with Bobby Smith's line, forechecking tenaciously. Wayne Gretzky working both ends of the rink, getting the puck deep out of his zone, coming down, setting up 5 on a tremendous opportunity. And right there, Napier and his line mates were working, getting opportunities. Canada putting up a real good fight right now, playing extremely well.
1-1 tie. Bobby Clark, Napier, and Sittler, the forward line for Canada. Here's Makarov of the Soviet Union. Makarov coming in, and he's checked and knocked off stride by Van Boxbeer, who comes up with the puck. And he kicks it over to Clark, who backhands it to the center ice area. Kazatonov, number 7 of the Soviets. Now it's brought in by Makarov. Makarov to Fetisov, and he was hit hard. And Canada has possession, but it's called on an offside play.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
Hartsburg has scored for Canada. Shepeliev for the Soviet Union. Shepeliev's goal is 2:01, and Hartsburg from Sittler at 8:08. Viktor Tikhonov, the Soviet coach. Now the puck into the Team Canada zone. This is Kevin Lowe, number 12, on defense. Former junior in the Quebec League with the Quebec team. First round pick in '79. Now the puck comes to Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky, he's checked. And the Soviets come up with possession once again. And they have it on the center. Number 25, Vladimir Golikov. In front, and they pass him on the skate. He couldn't control it. It's brought in by Vasiliev, but he was stopped by Gretzky. Gretzky lined up by Tumanev. He sidestepped him. It comes out now. Number 25, Golikov fires it in, a delayed offside, and they're bringing it right back into the Soviet zone.
And Numanev was really laid out by a check by Giles there, coming across the blue line. The Canadian team coming out very well, even though the Russians love the forecheck with their wings. They come in on each side, they keep the center high. They try and have you force the puck around the boards because their defensemen in the wing like to pinch with the center backing them up. But the Canadians moving the puck out real well. There's a tired Wayne Gretzky working very, very hard, both ends of the rink, moving the puck extremely well. His line mates have had some good opportunities.
Ready now for the face-off in the Soviet zone. There's a shot right from the draw by Cicerelli. It's a 1-1 tie, Canada and the Soviets. Billy Eletnov going behind his own net. It slaps. Cicerelli tried to trap the puck there, and Drozdensky gets it out. The Soviets on the attack for Bukin. Gets into number 18. There's a shot by Gamayev, and that whistles just wide of goaltender Jill Malott. In the corner there for Canada is Hartsburg. Rozdetsky after him. Hartsburg gets it to the line, and it gets ahead to Cicerelli. Lukestad slaps it back. Two Team Canada players inside the line. Now Reinhardt. He clears it to an open wing. Bobby Smith going after it there, and that's broken up, and Hartsburg has it at center ice. Hartsburg flips it into the Soviet corner. Both teams at full strength. Hartsburg scoring for Canada. Shepeliev has scored here in the first period for the Soviets. Reinhardt breaks that play up. Now the puck comes back for Bukin. Mayev is knocked down, and Reinhardt has it for Canada. Then it's knocked off his stick. Rick Green fires it into the Soviet zone. Bukin, he's checked by Gartner, and it's taken now by Team Canada. Chance drops in front, and the shot is stopped by Tretiak. Howardchuk gets it again. Sends it right in front of the net, no one there. And it slips it up to an open wing with Van Boxmeer after it for Canada. He hits Lukestad with that pass. Victor Lukestad, number 22, up on the right side to Kapustin. He's checked. Howardchuk cleared it back, and it's shot down the ice by Van Boxmeer. After it for Canada, Mark Napier. Napier, number 31, knocked against the boards by Kazatonov. Back to Rick Green, a shot. And that's dismissed by much, just off the target. Now the Soviets, they can't get out again as Team Canada doing a good job staying right on top of it. Now it's cleared out to center ice. Rick Green has it for Canada. Green, a pass to Darryl Sittler. Up over the line with Napier, and that was broken up. Van Boxmeer shoots it into the Soviet zone. After it there is Bobby Clark. He's checked. Kazatonov shoots it down the ice, and it will be icing against the Soviets as Giles touches it.
Tremendous pressure continually being put on by Canada. Some great forechecking by Gardner, allowing Howardchuk to get an opportunity and also set up the defenseman for some shots. The Soviets a little perplexed right now. Canada blocking all their outlets, and they are just trying anything long. If it doesn't hit, they're just icing the puck, and you don't see the Soviets doing that often. They're quite confused right now.
One tie, the Soviets undefeated at the World Hockey Championships with 7 straight victories. Canada's record going into this game, 3 wins, 2 ties, and 2 losses. Now the Soviets break out of their own zone. Makarov coming in with Larionov. In front, Makarov shot. Great save by Gil Millar. Makarov has it again. Makarov with Kapustin and Larionov. For the Soviets, Gretzky, 14, Canada shoots it in. After it is Rick 5. Fetisov got to it first. Here's Bill Barber. His shot, that's blocked by Kazatonov, and the Soviets bring it right out again. Larionov, number 11, trying to get it to the corner to Kapustin. There's a penalty coming. A delayed penalty to Canada as 5 touches it, and the tripping infraction to Giles, number 2.
From Helsinki, Finland, coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
4-3, and they're right back at it again today. This time in Helsinki, it's a 1-1 tie. The Soviets on the power play. Shalamov, number 23, sends it across there for Kapustin. Kapustin trying to get it. Shepeliev, number 21.
Hartsburg's going to get another call here.
Another penalty of the shot. They score. A delayed penalty was coming up to Canada, but it's waved off with the goal scored by the Soviets. And Shepeliev is in a bit of pain.
Well, Hartsburg gave him a jab in front of the net right there. You see it. Right after the shot, he's going to get another one. Hartsburg had a penalty coming up right now. You wonder, maybe with the Soviets would have had 2-man advantage. They might be able to get 2 goals this way on a delayed penalty. They got 1, but the power play is waved off, and so is the delayed penalty. And now it's full strength, 5 against 5, with the Soviets leading 2-1.
So the goal to Fetisov. For the Soviets, Fetisov getting the goal. It's 2-1, a power play effort. Now they come right back in. Golikov almost broke away. But Canada has possession. Hartsburg going after it. Tumanev, number 28 for the Soviets, gets it back. Golikov couldn't handle it. Here comes Bobby Smith. Smith with Gainey and Cicerelli. Over the line, Cicerelli has it, a shot, and that rolls just wide of Tretiak. Bob Gainey has it now for Canada, in front of shot. Tretiak stops that with Cicerelli standing right in front. Now it's cleared around the board. Reinhardt keeps it in for Canada. Cicerelli to Bobby Smith. He had trouble with it. It's cleared. Reinhardt slaps it back in, but Golikov has it for the Soviets. Golikov gives it to Vasiliev. Back to Babinov. Babinov, a pass up the middle. It's cleared and knocked down by the Team Canada player, Brian Prock. Babinov now gets it up on the left side. Both teams at full strength, with the Soviet Union leading Team Canada by 1 goal. It's 2-1. Kozhevnikov, number 16. He's out there with Lukov and Gamayev, who takes the pass. Gamayev is spun around. Another penalty. This will be Reinhardt for tripping Gamayev right at the Team Canada blue line.
Well, the Soviets getting a chance to go back on a power play. They just took the lead on the last one. On the other tripping penalty to Giles, they went ahead 2-1. Now Reinhardt will be sitting on a tripping penalty right there as he trips Gamayev at the blue line.
Another power play opportunity for the Soviets. They capitalize on the penalty to Giles to get that 2-1 lead on a goal by Fetisov. The lone Team Canada goal scored by Hartsburg from Daryl Sittler at 8:08. So the Soviets, once again, they have Makarov out there on the forward line with Larionov and Krutov. Krutov. Larionov drops behind the net. Makarov in front. Here's Fetisov. 7. Kazatonov, Sittler watching him. That shot missed. Lowe tried to get the puck. And Makarov shot now.
One thing the Soviets have had from one side of the net to the other when they're on the power play, forcing right here on a heavy on Larionov.
1 minute and 27 seconds left to play in the opening period. The Soviets lead 2-1. Now setting up is Makarov, number 24. Makarov back to Kazatonov. Watched by Bobby Clark to Makarov. Dropped it into the corner. A shot by Khrushchev, and up with it is Clark, and he shoots it into the Soviet zone.
Another penalty going to come up here. Canada's going to get a penalty for high sticking probably.
Khrushchev lying on the ice at center. Now he makes his way over to the bench, and the penalty coming up once again to Team Canada.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
No high sticking infraction to Daryl Sittler as he caught Khrushchev with that high stick. So Canada now 2 men short. Late in the opening period here at the World Hockey Championships in Helsinki, Finland.
One thing Canada's going to have to do, Bernie, they're going to have to stay away from those penalties. You don't want to give the Russians too many power play opportunities because they move the puck extremely well, very dangerous on it. This is a critical time of the game for Canada, being short-handed 2 men. Soviets with a lot of time to go on the 2-man advantage.
Shepeliev and Fetisov have scored the goals for the Soviets. And Hartsburg, the lone goal for Canada from Daryl Sittler. And Hartsburg's goal made it 1-1 at 8:08 of this opening period. But Canada's 2 men short right now as the puck is taken by Shalamov. Back to Kazatonov. Here's Fetisov's shot. And that goes wide. Kept in by Kazatonov. 43 seconds left in the period. Another shot stopped by Gilles Malone. And he got that white pad in the way of that shot from Kazatonov, who has it again. Gives it to Shalamov. Over now to Fetisov, and he couldn't hold it. And it went outside the line, and he takes it back to center right. Lukov heading for the front of the net. Here's Fetisov dropping it into the corner. 20 seconds left in the opening period. His shot deflected in front. Off the stick of Flutov, it goes wide. In behind the net, Kapustin gives it to Shalamov. Shalamov back to Kazatonov, fakes his shot. Fetisov lets it go. In front. Oh, and that's stopped by Milan. Another chance. They score. Shalamov set up in front. And he makes it 3-1.
Well, after Milosh had made a big save, the puck coming to Shalamov, he had all the time in the world. You see right down in front, the Soviets having a good opportunity from Flutov to save made Kapustin out front to Shalamov. All he had to do was put it up high. Here's the first save. Chile making one save. The puck now going to be centered right to Shalamov. He's all alone, takes his time, and puts it up and over Milosh.
So the Soviets now, and that goal by Shalamov lead Team Canada 3-1. And Canada still a man short. There's a little meeting over at the penalty box area. Alan Eagleson is there. Sittler is still in the penalty box. The time of the goal, 19:57.
I think he was really concerned as to the clock, whether it stopped or not, with the other penalty being up. It got very close to the end of Reinhardt's penalty, and had Reinhardt's penalty been over, had he just been stepping on the ice that time, then Sittler's penalty would be over. I think that's what they're probably complaining about.
Well, the time is done in fractions, and the clock says 9:07.
0.3 of a second off the end of Reinhardt's penalty.
So that's the argument. Questioning it should be 19. And that's the discussion right now. It's on the clock.
Oh, the clock was wrong.
There, Ellen, clock was wrong.
It's not out. First, when the light is out, when you have 0-0, 0-0, it's not out.
Well, they tried to sort out this problem. Canada was 2 men short. Reinhardt's penalty 17:58. Now the power play goal, they've marked it as 19:57. But in fractions of time, it's 19:57.7. They're that precise with the clock here. And the argument is that, well, it should be 19:58. But they haven't convinced the officials of that.
You look at a concerned Marshall Johnson, knowing they're 2 goals down, they're still a man short. Canada going to have to rebound from this as we wind down in the period.
So the Soviets on that goal by Shalamov from Kapustin, leading 3-1 as the horn goes now to end the first period of play with the Soviets after 20 minutes, 2 goals in front. You're watching the World Hockey Championship on CTV. Welcome back to Helsinki, Finland for the second period. This is Bernie Pascal along with Lou Nanny, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars, our color commentator on the CTV telecast. And the Soviets lead Team Canada 3-1. Sittler is still in the penalty box for Canada. Larionov, Krutov, and Makarov, the forward line for the Soviets. It comes to Kazatonov. He drops it into the corner. Larionov leaves it there for Makarov. Back to Kazatonov, to Makarov, getting set, hits the post. Comes back to Fetisov, his shot, and Bobby Clark stopped that. Fetisov still has it for the Soviets. On the power play here, Larionov heading for the front of the net. Makarov gives it to Kazatonov, his shot stopped by Gilles Malage. And Bob Gainey has trouble getting it out. Now he goes into the corner. Hartsburg has it for Canada as Sittler is about ready to return. Fetisov slaps at the puck and cleared out to center ice. Kazatonov. He passes it to Fetisov as Sittler steps on the ice. Canada's back in full strength. Larionov. He gives it to Kazatonov. And his own blue line for the Soviets. Undefeated so far in the World Hockey Championship. Now Pervukin brings it in for the Soviets with Kapustin. Now it's dropped back to the line. Cleared in front. Malage had trouble but made the save. Now it's shot into the Soviet zone. Fetisov with Howardchuk after him. Now he clears it in front. And it's taken by Kapustin. Kapustin dumps it out to center ice. Brian Propp has it for Canada. And he shoots it right back into the Soviet zone. Fetisov, number 2. He stops inside his own zone. Now a pass up the middle to number 23. That's Shalamov. Viktor Shalamov coming in now for the Soviets. In front, Kapustin. He clears it in, and Canada intercepts there, and it's brought out by Kevin Lowe. Lowe coming up on the left side. He was lined up there by Shepeliev, and there'll be a penalty coming up to the Soviet Union. An interference penalty, so Canada will have a power play opportunity.
Kapustin interfering with Mike Gardner as he was back checking, brought him down. Referee Dag Olsen right there in the play, and the Soviets now going to be a man short. You see Kevin Lowe coming up ice, and there was the infraction right there near the red line. Kapustin afterwards complaining to the referee, but he obviously was caught red-handed.
Team Canada on the power play with the Soviets leading by a score of 3-1. Here's Wayne Gretzky, number 99. He gets set, makes the shot, comes in front, lets it go, and that missed the net. Gretzky has it again for Canada, back to Van Boxmeer, and his shot goes wide. Kept in by Kevin Lowe. Here's Gretzky now behind the net again for Canada. Out there with 5 and Barber. Gretzky gets it back. Van Boxmeer couldn't get to it as Lukoff breaks it up. Lowe deep in his own zone for Canada. Lowe gives it to John Van Boxmeer. Number 6, Van Boxmeer up the middle. A pass intended for 5, and Lukoff intercepted that. Now it's shot down the ice into the Team Canada zone. 1:18 remaining in the Soviet penalty to Kapustin. And the Soviets leading 3-1 as Lowe fires it into the Soviet zone. 5 into the corner, left it for Bill Barber. Barber tried to get the pass around, and it's cleared off the board. Right back into the Team Canada zone. Canada needing a big goal here to get right back into it. They're trailing by 2. And the power play has not been too successful against the Soviets. Go back to that game yesterday in Tampere where they had the 2-man advantage and failed to score. 41 seconds left in this power play. Van Boxmeer, another shot. As Bob Gainey got the rebound in front, but Tretiak stopped that. It's kept in by Lowe. Over to Van Boxmeer. Hip shot. That's off the net. Gretzky goes after it. Lowe got to it first. Gretzky in the corner. Van Boxmeer heading for the front. Gretzky is hauled down, and the puck comes out to the center ice area. Brought in now by the Soviets. 2-on-1 break. Gavayev, but he couldn't control the pass. Van Boxmeer with 12 seconds left in the Soviet penalty. Here's Cicerelli. He's knocked down stride at center, gets up again, and shoots the puck into the Soviet zone. Reinhardt to Gretzky. Gretzky lost the puck, and it's brought out now by the Soviets once again. Number 16, Kozhevnikov, coming in, he scores! Kozhevnikov scores just as Team Canada got back. The Soviets at full strength, and Kozhevnikov makes it 4-1.
You see Kozhevnikov coming down actually on a 3-on-1, uses a fake pass, and he gets in close enough and just beats Milosh right through his leg from about 15 feet. After he'd stolen the puck, he comes down the ice, used the man for decoy, and put it right by Milosh.
4-1, Kozhevnikov gets the 4th goal for the Soviets. Reinhardt, number 8, on defense for Team Canada. Now both teams at full strength. Canada had much of the play in the first period, but a couple of costly penalties, and the Soviets capitalizing as they do so often. Now, here's a chance for the Soviets once again. Krutkov's shot. That's stopped by Gilles Meloche. Larionov backhands it in. Gilles Meloche taps it around to Reinhardt. Now it takes a weird bounce off the board. The Soviets right on top of Team Canada. Here's Khrushchev. He backhands it in and headed for Makarov. Howard-Chuck is upset, and there will be a penalty to Makarov. A delayed penalty against the Soviets. Meloche heads to the bench. Here's Hartsburg, number 4. Checked by Makarov. He touches it. Well, there should be a whistle, but now here's the whistle. Well, that was a bit of a surprise. Makarov touched it, but there was no whistle.
Everybody stopped and waited for the whistle to blow. You're right.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
Welcome back to Helsinki, Finland. This is Bernie Pascal along with Lou Natty. And we hope you're enjoying the telecast on the full CTV network. The Soviets leading Canada 4-1. And Canada's on a power play now with Makarov in the penalty box. Ozhevnikov, Shalamov, Fetisov, and Shapeliev have scored the goals for the Soviets. And Craig Hartsburg has the lone goal for Team Canada so far in the game. 5 into the corner. Here's Gretzky now, trying to set it up in front. Gretzky couldn't get a shot, and the puck is off the stick of Van Boxmeer, who chases it inside his own blue line. Van Boxmeer to Daryl Sittler, off his stick, but he slaps it ahead to 5. In with Gretzky, a shot. The rebound came to Wayne Gretzky. And it's 4-2.
Daryl Sittler pushing Gretzky in 5 away on a 2-on-1. 5 coming over the blue line. There's a play by Sittler up to 5. 5 having good opportunity here to shoot. He lets go. The rebound to Gretzky, and Tretiak's already beaten. Gretzky puts it home. A fine shot by 5, a rebound goal by Gretzky. Yawning goal vault with Wayne Gretzky getting his 3rd goal over here, I believe.
3rd goal of the championship for Wayne Gretzky, who had 92 goals with Edmonton this season, 18 of them on the power play, and he gets a power play goal here in Helsinki, and that cuts the margin to 2 with the Soviets leading 4-2 here early in period number 2. Referee Dag Olsen drops the puck. It comes back to the line to John Van Boxmeer, up to Bobby Clark. Clark trying to get that lead pass to Mark Napier. And boy, that didn't miss by much, but it's called on the offside pass.
Bobby Clark saw Napier coming from the far side, cutting right across the middle, and that was very close to putting Napier in all alone, not even missing by much on the pass and much less on the offside. Napier just a half stride over.
They'll drop the puck just outside the Team Canada blue line, and Kapustin shoots it into the Canadian zone. Backboard is Rick Green, number 5. Green up on the left side, gets the return pass. Now he starts out to John Van Boxmeer. He clears it off Kapustin right into the Soviet zone. Daryl Sittler trying to get it to Clark. It comes in front. Napier went after it, but the Soviets quickly slap it off the boards, and they come right back now into the Team Canada zone. Here's a chance for number 21, Shapeliev. He's knocked off stride. Sittler of Canada. Banned up one passing attempt and gets it again. Sittler clears it in. Here's Mark Napier. Napier circles and backhands it to Bobby Clark. Now Sittler behind it. Mark Napier! A perfect setup, and it's 4-3.
Well, Clark and Sittler and Napier combining that one with Napier being on the doorstep after he gets that pass out from behind the net to bring Canada to within 1 goal. You see Bobby Clark here going to Sittler, and Sittler quickly keeping that puck in. Shapeliev went to the back to get Sittler. Napier standing all alone puts it away. Just previous to that, every time Canada would put the puck in one corner, the defenseman would automatically go to the far side, knowing Canada was using the play from one corner to the other, but that time they were just a step slow, and Canada capitalized.
So Mark Napier from Daryl Sittler and Bobby Clark. Canada striking with 2 goals, and it's 4-3 as they quickly get right back into this game in Helsinki, Finland.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
Very lively crowd here at the World Championships in Finland, offering their support to Canada. You hear them cheer. Here comes 5 in front to Gretzky off his stick. Barber behind the net. Now he gives it to Gretzky. Fetisov knocked him down, and Fetisov comes up with the puck. He clears it ahead to Gamayev. Gamayev coming up with Grozdetsky to the Canadian line. Takes it into the corner. In front. Back to Fetisov. Takes the shot. There's a drive, and that hit his stick and goes wide. Gretzky for Canada. A pass on the right side to 5. 5 is checked by Fetisov, and there'll be a penalty to Rick 5 as he upsets Fetisov. Now hooking infraction as Fetisov took a bit of a dive there. I don't think there's much question about that.
And Wayne Gretzky went right over to Dag Olsen and said it's a dive. He just touched him. That's a pretty good, that'll be about a 5.99 on the 6 scale, I guess. And Gretzky, very upset, immediately went to Dag Olsen and showed him a diving motion. The Soviets on the power play again. Ejected Rick Vibes looking at the referee there.
Those penalties very costly. We'll recall a late penalty yesterday to Rick Vibes. Now he's penalized here in the second period with the Soviets leading Canada 4-3. And the Soviets on the power play are simply awesome. Here's Fetisov leading the attack now. Fetisov gets it over to Makarov. In with Larionov and Khrushchev. It's dropped back to the line. Kazatonov, number 7 on the point with Fetisov. It comes to Kazatonov, to Makarov. His shot, that's blocked, and it's cleared out by Craig Hartsburg. And the Soviets forced right back deep into their own zone. Gartner out there killing the penalty with Bobby Clark. Clark, number 16, and Gartner, number 11 for Canada. Comes around the boards. Reinhardt tried to get to it. And now it's Craig Hartsburg. Khrushchev checked in. Makarov up with it. In front to Larionov. Kazatonov is shot. And that goes wide. Gartner trying to get it out. Kazatonov keeps it in for the Soviets. He gets it again. Gives it to Makarov. Larionov right in front of the net. Now it's cleared over and back to Kazatonov. Tried to return it to Makarov. And he was going one way, the puck the other. Now Fetisov on the power play. In front, here's a chance down for Larionov, and he couldn't get a shot. Kazatonov setting up again a drive. Loose puck at the side, they swing around, and Milan stops that. As Larionov was set up in front. Back out to the center ice area now. The puck brought in by the Soviets. On the power play, they're leading 4-3. Here's a pass intended for Fetisov. It comes to Makarov. Makarov off the board. Fetisov chases it there. Now Reinhardt trying to get the puck out. Canada a man short, and Reinhardt shoots it down the ice. 8 seconds remaining in the penalty to Rick 5 as Kapustin swings into the Canadian zone as shot. And Milosh covered up there. Number 5 is Rick Green as 5 is back on the penalty booth. Here's 5 taking the puck onside, but then he lost it. As the Soviets capitalize and come right back again. Makarov, he's checked at the line by Giles, a delayed offside, and it's called at the Team Canada line as 5 and Makarov starts to push right in front of the Soviet bench.
And what a play by Vasilyev, because 5 had made a nice play coming out of the penalty box. He took that long pass from Green, went down, he tried to just dump that puck across his oncoming wing, and Vasilyev just blocked it. Otherwise, Canada would have had a golden opportunity.
You're watching the World Hockey Championships on CTV.
Soviets leading Canada 4-3. Mark Napier, Wayne Gretzky, and Craig Hartsburg have been the goal scorers in this game for Canada. 5. A pass up on the left side to Barber. Coming in with Gretzky. Barber swinging in the corner. Watched by Vasilyev behind the net to 5. 5 is checked by Chapelia. Still digging for the puck. He falls, the puck underneath him. Gretzky trying to get it loose. Gretzky kicks it. Now it comes around to the other side. Kapustin. He clears it up the middle. That failed, and Barber shoots it right back in. A bouncing shot. Tretiak steers that into the corner. Vasilyev against Gretzky. There's a shot by Green, and that bounces just wide of the Soviet net. And it's cleared down the ice into the Canadian zone with Van Boxmeer getting to it, but icing his ways off. Van Boxmeer being watched there by Shelemov. A pass ahead to Barber. Up with Gretzky and Cicerelli. Gretzky takes the pass, dumps it in front, and that took a weird bounce, and the Soviets come right back again. Up over the line. Here's a chance now. A shot. Milan makes the save off the stick of Golikov.
Well, with a 3-on-2, Milosh taking the shooter, throws that puck because right here, he's coming right down the slot with a Russian right on the left side, just coming into the screen. Milosh making a fine save on Numinev right here. The
Soviets undefeated at the World Championship, 7 straight victories. Canada going into this game today, 3 wins, 2 ties, and 2 losses. Canada with an excellent opportunity and a silver medal. There's a shot that bounces in front. Now it comes to Bob Gainey. Gainey, number 23 for Canada, with Dino Cicerelli and Bobby Smith. The puck into the Soviet zone. Billy Letonov. He dumps it in front. Giles trying to keep it in. The Soviets quick on that breakout. They're coming in 2.5 in front. And that puck took a weird bounce. He couldn't catch up to it. Now Giles right back for Canada as they've really opened up the pace here in the second period. The puck cleared back to the Canadian line. Giles gives it to Cicerelli. He drops it to Kevin Lowe. Over to Giles. Giles returns the pass to Lowe, and he lifts it into the Soviet zone. It could have been played, so there's no icing. Vervukin, he's checked. Now Billy Letonov gives it to Gamayev. Gamayev, a pass up the middle. Here, now the Soviets coming in. This is Golikov. A shot. That whistle's just wide. Fetisov fakes the shot. Fetisov, number 2 for the Soviets. He's bumped by Reinhardt. And Reinhardt left the puck along the boards, and Lowe lifts it ahead to Gartner. He just backhands it out to center ice. The Soviets leading Canada by 1 goal. It's 4-3. That was the score in the game yesterday in Tampere, with the Soviets winning that one. Now they freeze the puck in the Team Canada zone. Welcome back to Helsinki, Finland. It's 4-3 for the Soviets. This is Bernie Pascal with Lou Nanny and our CTV sports crew as the puck goes now to Dale Howardchuk. Howardchuk bringing it out for Team Canada. Up over the line, in front. There's a pass. Backhand shot. First puck, this fire away, and that's stopped by the defense as Gartner let his shot go. Gartner has it again. In the corner, he falls down. Rise looks off, but no penalty there. Canada has it again. And now it's the lead pass ahead the Soviet Krasnetsky. And Gartner comes back now for Canada. Gartner gets... Reinhardt knocks it down. Reinhardt back for Canada. Trying to get that pass to Howardchuk. Fetisov breaks it up. Now it's cleared ahead. Gamayev, and the puck just bounced over his stick. Hartsburg in the corner. He's checked by Gamayev. The puck comes to Sitzler. He slaps it, but not out. Reinhardt will bring it out. Reinhardt of the Calgary Flames gets it over to Mark Napier and shot. And a good try, but it's wide. Hartsburg, a shot. Off Kretschak, and he felt that and stung. There's another shot. Hartsburg keeps it in, a bouncing puck in front. Napier trying to get to it. He breaks it up to Bobby Clark. Clark with Sitzler in the corner. And he's checked there by the Soviet player Pavanov. And the Soviets come right back again. This is Krutov. Krutov up over the line, a shot, and that comes off the board right out to center ice. The Soviets leading Canada 4-3. Makarov, number 24, watched by Rick Green in front. And that bounces just wide of the Canadian goal and taken by Van Foxmeer. He gives it to Sitzler. Sitzler trying to backhand it there to Bobby Clark. That failed, and it's brought right back in by Krutov. He passes in front. Babanov has it for the Soviets. It's cleared as the Soviet player Makarov, obviously in pain there, slow to pick up the stick and get back into the play.
He had a bad shoulder too, Bernie. He might be out. He got hurt in the German game 2 games ago.
And he's having difficulty getting to the bench, and it's called on an offside. Makarov in a great deal of pain, heading to the Soviet bench, favoring his left shoulder.
This is the World Hockey Championships from Finland on CTV.
Went down on the shoulder right there and got up very, very slowly. Makarov, who was playing with a bad shoulder, got hurt against the West Germans, missed the next game, and then came back to play against Canada last night. Now having a little difficulty with his shoulder.
And we'd like to salute all the members of Team Canada. Some great ambassadors. They've worked extremely hard. And that puck bounces right to Kretschak. And the players, it's just amazing that the Europeans all know the Canadian players asking for autographs. And, well, you see them before the games, after the game too, spending a great deal of time with the European youngsters and all the hockey fans in this area.
Well, the Canadian host, Rio Renta, was telling me last night, he says, I just love these guys. The group here is just sensational. They're tremendous people. It's been a great thrill for me to work with them, and that's the attitude that all these Finnish people have had towards them.
Soviets leading Canada 4-3. And the pass comes up on the left side. It's brought in now by Khrushchev. Hit by Giles. A good hip check. And that sent the Soviet player flying. Now Giles has it again to Rick Five. Five, a pass ahead to Bill Barber. Up with Gretzky. Barber over the line. Still has the puck. Directs it towards the net. That's bounced wide. Here's Gretzky. Gretzky for Canada at the side. Trying to jam it in. A shot. That's stopped by Tretiak. Barber trying to get it loose. And it comes to Gretzky. Gretzky in the corner. Now behind the net. Dumps it in front. And Barber kicked at it but couldn't direct it in front of the net. Giles keeps it in for Canada. Five. Here's it behind the net where it's taken by Shapelyev. Shapelyev got it to the line and it came out. And it's called on the offside.
Well, you can see the respect the Soviets have for Gretzky from behind the net. The moment he goes back there, they just jammed in front of that net. They had 3 and 4 guys there, as we see Kevin Lowe reach in to keep that puck in, but it just went over the line enough to cause an offside. Gretzky having a good opportunity. The save being made by Tretiak and a scramble in front. Barber and Five and Gretzky all trying to get it, not able to get it into the net. Fine opportunity by the Canadians.
Goal scorers for Canada in this game, Craig Hartsburg, Wayne Gretzky, and Mark Napier. It's 4-3 for the Soviets. The puck right in front again. Here's Hartsburg, a shot. That hit a skate and goes wide, and the Soviets come right out again. Tumanev, number 28, hitting for the front of the net. His backhander is knocked down by Hartsburg. Reinhardt right on top of him. Now here's Pervukin trying to get a shot, and he's checked. Takes it in behind the Team Canada net. Hartsburg goes after him. Now Reinhardt tries to knock the puck loose. Pervukin still has it. Now he dumps it into the corner. Tumanev goes after it there. He cleared it in front. That went off the Team Canada player's stick. Cicerelli and almost found an opening. He fired it up over the boards and out of play.
Pervukin behind the net doing some good work to keep control of that puck. Finally, the pass coming out front, and as you said, a deflection almost beat Milosh, but right there, Cicerelli gets it and fires it over the glass.
Lou, the Soviet defense, very mobile. They take those gambles, take the puck right in behind the Canadian net.
They're always up with the play. The defenseman has no worry about going up. Forwards back them up. They interchange more than any other people there are playing hockey. And one time, I think you're going to see them becoming forwards and defensemen becoming forwards, defensemen with very, very continued regularity.
Now here's a chance for Gartner in front. He's checked. Howard trying to take the puck loose into the corner, bumps with Lukshov. One goal separating these two teams. The Soviets leading Canada 4-3. Lukshov gets the pass ahead to Drozdetsky. Drozdetsky, number 13 for the Soviets. He bumps along the boards, and Gartner drops it back to Howardchuk. Howardchuk trying to hit Brian Propp with that pass, and it goes into the Soviet zone. Late here in the second period in Helsinki, Finland. The Soviets have possession once again. Gamayev in behind the net. Gamayev trying to find someone to pass it to, but he was checked by Rick Green. Now Clark gets it ahead to Darryl Sittler. Backhands it into Mark Napier, and Fetisov in quickly ahead of Napier and got to it. Gamayev on the left side. He lifts it ahead to Makarov. Here's Lukshov, number 22, getting set. And Rick Green was back quickly to check him. Lukshov trying to give it to Makarov, and it comes to John Van Foxmeer of Canada. Up the middle to Mark Napier. Napier trying to slip through to the fence, and he's upset to the side as well, but he couldn't convince referee Olsen of that. Now the Soviets, here's Khrushchev, he can move. Khrushchev in front, trying to get it to Makarov, and that was steered away by Milosh. Another shot, that's blocked in front. Khrushchev gets it, and it's gloved ahead, and it's whistled down by the referee.
You're watching the World Hockey Championships from Finland on CTV.
The Canadian team, because of the respect they have for the Soviet speed and also the width of the rink, are giving the blue line just a little too much. If we can stop them up before they gain control of the zone, we stop some of these opportunities. But it's a lot easier said than done, Bernie.
The Soviets leading Team Canada by a score of 4-3. What a great job the Team Canada coaching staff has done. Marshall Johnson, Red Berenson, and Dave King. Dave is working right up here on the two-way radio system with Red Berenson wearing the headset behind the bench. Soviets leading Canada 4-3. Gretzky in the corner. Barber moves in to help out, but the puck is cleared right back into the Canadian zone. And after it there is Kevin Lowe, and he touched it just before it went over the line, so no icing. Lowe clears it out to center right. Here's a chance for Gretzky. Got to the Soviet line, then was stopped. Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers into his own zone. He's on defense now with Giles. Giles went after the bouncing puck, couldn't handle it there. Krutov. Here's Babinoff, a shot. Meloche stopped that. Giles in the corner, bumped by Drozdetsky. Gretzky trying to get the puck. Krutov comes up with it for the Soviets. Krutov, one of the smallest players, but great mobility. Backhands the puck there, and it goes wide. We're in the final minute of play in the second period. The puck is shot into the Soviet zone. Gretzky after it there. And the Soviets get back to touch it. Vasiliev. So it's icing against Canada as 5 and Vasiliev do a little pushing in the corner.
Well, the Canadians giving the Russians some of their own medicine, keeping their forwards high, and had a couple of occasions there where they were able to break out with 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s had the pass been completed. They were just a little off the mark, but starting to open that ice up a little bit more and even draw the Soviet defensemen out of the zone because they're causing them a little bit of problem.
Viktor Tikhonov, the innovative coach of the Soviet Union, one of the first Soviet coaches to employ 4 lines, does it very successfully. 1 goal differential here in the second period. The Soviets leading 4-3. Hartsburg, number 4 for Canada. In behind the net, both teams at full strength. Reinhardt backhands it to Gartner. He got it outside the line where it's stopped there by Viktor Shalamov to Shapeliev, and he's checked. Now Gartner again for Canada. Gartner on the right side, coming in with props. Can't get a pass as he's tied up by Perbukin. Howard-Chuck in the corner for Canada. Gartner goes in to help him out, and the Soviets break that up. And the puck comes out to center right. 15 seconds left to play in the second period. Billy Letonov in behind his own net for the Soviets. He backhands it there to Perbukin. Howard-Chuck in. The horn goes to end the second period of play. And a great period for Team Canada. 4 goals, and it's just a 1-goal difference now with the Soviets leading Canada 4-3. This is the World Hockey Championships on.
Welcome back to the most southerly republic in the world, the country of Finland. The third period of this game in the World Hockey Championships between Canada and the Soviet Union, with the Soviets leading by a score of 4-3. And the first whistle in the early going of period number 3 is Gilles Meloche trapped that puck and holds on, Lou.
Bernie, we might as well take this opportunity. Max McNabb, the general manager of the Canadian team, wanted to wish his mother well. His mother, 82 years old, in Watson, Saskatchewan. He said she'll be watching, so we want to pass his best wishes along.
And Max McNabb and the coaching staff have done an outstanding job with this Team Canada. Just a matter of weeks putting this talent together. Here's a chance now for Makarov, and he couldn't get a shot away as Hartsburg got the puck ahead to Wayne Gretzky to Bill Barber. Barber coming to the Soviet line, cleared it into Mark Napier. And Rick Five is checked. Gretzky goes after the puck for Canada. Five keeps it in. That's the Soviets attempting to get it out. And it's cleared up to the Soviet line to Makarov at center. Makarov with Larionov, but that's broken up by Reinhardt. The Soviets will try again. Five breaks that up. Now the puck is taken by Gretzky. Gretzky trying to get a pass over. That's broken up, and the Soviets come right back again, and it's cleared in by Kazatonov. Both teams changing on the fly here. Bob Gainey, number 23 for Canada. Gainey swings around. Shapeliev takes it into the corner. Gainey looking for someone to pass it to. Drops it behind the net to Smith. In front to Kevin Lowe. All right. Kevin Lowe ties it up.
Janey feeding Bobby Smith behind the net, and with Dino Ciccarelli off to the side, the defenseman turned to look at Ciccarelli. Lowe stepped into the slot. You'll see Bobby Smith behind the net feed this one right out to Lowe, moves in. Everyone else was looking the other way, and Lowe beating Tretiak to tie this game. A fine shot by Kevin Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers ties this game up.
Well, we were talking to Kevin Lowe about a big goal in his career. He said he scored the first ever NHL goal for Edmonton against Chicago. We'll rate this goal right up there as well, as Canada has tied the Soviets here early in the third period on the goal by Kevin Lowe from Bobby Smith, and Bob Janey also getting an assist on the goal. Billy Letonov, and it's icing against Team Canada.
We'll return with more CTV coverage of the World Hockey Championships in a moment.
It's a 4-4 tie, and we're in Helsinki, Finland. Our CTV coverage. This is Bernie Pascal, along with Lou Nanny, the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. Brian Propp slaps the puck down the ice. Tretiak lets it go. It went through the crease, so there's no icing. It's waved off by the linesman. Both teams at full strength. The Soviets coming out of their own zone. Tumanev. He tried to drop the puck there to Kozhevnikov, and he was checked by Brian Propp. Now John Van Boxmeer on defense with Rick Green. The puck comes out to center ice. Gartner lifts it into the Soviet zone, goes in quickly after it, and Gartner got to it. Howardchuk trying to dig up the puck. He has it. Oh, and he tried to get that pass to Propp. Howardchuk has it again. A good move around the defense. And the Team Canada player Propp was knocked down by Billy Letonov, who got away with that. Howardchuk in front. Gartner a shot. And that just goes wide of Tretiak. And the Soviets come back again. Kozhevnikov gets it ahead. A shot. That's kicked out by Milan. Here comes Gartner. Back for Canada. Fetisov stopped him. And Tumanev has it for the Soviets. It's a 4-4 tie. Canada and the Soviet Union. Tumanev brings it in now for the Soviets. And he's spun around. And Mark Napier has it for Canada. Napier sidesteps Kozhevnikov. He comes out. Here's Mark Napier up over the line. Clark heading for the front of the net. Now he takes it behind and gives it back to Napier. Napier is stopped there by Kazatonov. The puck comes loose, a shot, and Tretiak stopped that. Now the puck cleared off the boards, a race for it, Drozdetsky, but Craig Hartsburg got to it first. Drozdetsky right on top of the Team Canada defenseman. Here's Luktov, a shot. That bounced off the skate of Reinhart. Bobby Clark trying to get it out. He failed. And the Soviets have it again. Here's Luktov behind the net. A shot. And Joe Malott covers up.
Was Luktov putting on a little pressure, and Drozdetsky coming around the net, try to stuff it right on Milosh, and as he did, Milosh made the save and covered up because the Soviets were storming the net at that time. The Soviets getting away with a little bit of hooking and holding on the far side before this. That's Drozdetsky coming around the net, trying to stuff it in, and then being hit as he tried to continue to hit Milosh there. Darryl Sittler moving him away from the net.
Face-off is in the Team Canada zone. It's a 4-4 tie. After that tying goal by Kevin Lowe here in the early going of period number 3. Lowe leaves the puck. Now he gets it back again. Ahead to Giles, up to center to Bill Barber. He slaps it in. Rick Five going after it. He gets a shot, and that was steered wide by Tretiak. Canada has it again. Barber, and his shot is stopped. He has the puck, though. Here's Barber coming around the net. Barber directs it in front, and the Soviets, Vasiliev, the veteran captain, clears it ahead to Babanov. Babanov coming in with Makarov and Krutov in front. And Barber intercepts for Canada, gives it to Rick Five of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now it's cleared back into the Soviet zone. Vasiliev right in front of his own net. The pass just failed, and it goes into the Team Canada zone. Van Boxmeer will touch it, and it's icing against the Soviet Union.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championships continues in a moment.
From Helsinki, Finland, the Soviets and Team Canada deadlocked in a 4-4 tie. Lowe, Napier, Gretzky, and Hartsburg have been the goal scorers for Team Canada. Shepeliev, Fetisov, Shelemov, and Kozhevnikov have scored the goals for the Soviet Union. The goaltenders, Tretiak and Gilles Meloche. Both teams at full strength. Now the Soviets bring the puck out of their own zone. Heading for the front of the net is Shelemov. There's a shot, and Gilles Meloche was taken out of the play as Rick Green bumps with him. But Smith brings it back for Canada. Up to Tino Cicerelli. His weak shot is taken by Billy Letonov. Billy Letonov, a pass out to the center ice area. Now it's cleared into the Team Canada zone. After it there is Shepeliev. Meloche away out of the net. Shepeliev loses the puck to Dale Howardchuk, who gets it out to center ice. Now the Soviets come right back again. Shelemov's shot, and Gilles Meloche stopped that. It's backhanded to John Van Foxbeer. Tried to hit Brian Propp with that pass, and it goes into the Soviet zone. Kazatonov, and Team Canada is called for icing with the puck coming right back into their zone. This is Bernie Pascal along with Lunani in Helsinki, Finland. Canada and Czechoslovakia a 4-4 tie. I'd like to remind you our next telecast on the CTV network across Canada will be on Tuesday, a 4 o'clock start local time. We'll bring you the game between Canada and Czechoslovakia. That'll be Tuesday on the full CTV network. Now Hartsburg fires the puck into the Soviet zone. It's brought back out. Here's the chance now, number 25, Vladimir Golikov. Drops it back, gets it again, a shot, and that's deflected just wide. Tumanev with Golikov heading for the net. Fetisov's shot, that's kicked out by Meloche, and Canada has possession. It's cleared over by Howardchuk, broken up by Tumanev. Tumanev in with Golikov. And Kozhevnikov, number 16, here's Golikov. In front, and a chance for Kozhevnikov. He couldn't get a good drive. Hartsburg, he's checked, and the puck is cleared away by Gartner. And off the boards it goes right to Tretiak, the Soviet goaltender. Now the Soviets bring the puck out to center ice. Gamayev is knocked off stride as he hits the Team Canada line. Kevin Lowe passes it over to Kurt Giles. Giles got it out, and it's whistled down, and it's a 4-4 tie, Canada and the Soviet Union.
The Soviets, the last couple of minutes, putting on some good pressure, having some opportunities. Meloche making 2 big saves, and on another occasion, the puck just bounced away from them. Canada have to settle down a little bit, move that puck a little quicker, a little crisper, coming out of their zone, and put on pressure like they had. Looking at those first 2 periods tonight, Canada had more.
The Ministry of Defense in London has confirmed that British troops have landed on the island of South Georgia, 800 miles east of the Falkland Islands. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher is seeing the Queen at Windsor Castle, briefing her on the latest developments. There is no word yet on any British casualties or whether the troops met resistance from the 150 Argentinians on the island. However, there are reports of Argentine casualties. Authoritative Whitehall sources say a small party of a dozen crack Marines made a reconnaissance landing on Thursday. The main force landed late today, London time. The sources say it's understood the cabinet was unaware of the reconnaissance landing when it happened. Clark Todd, CTV News, London.
Have won 284 while losing 96 and tying 32. That's the record involving all Soviet teams against Canada, and it was a TASS hockey writer, Vladimir Borzhov, that put that together.
I'm sure he probably had to go right down to minor hockey to make sure he got enough of the figures so it swung it in Soviet favor if you go that far, because they've had great success of late in their junior programs and beating us. Not that they haven't won their share in professional type competition, but I'm sure when you look at those statistics, they made sure they went far enough to swing the majority into their favor.
Face off in the Soviet zone. It comes back to the line. Here's Rick Five going after it. Drozdetsky has him all tied up and knocks him to the ice. Barber gets in there and pushes at Drozdetsky. But they can't get a penalty from referee Dag Olsen.
Well, it's not sour grapes or anything, but I've seen numerous occasions now when the Russians have tied the Canadian team up quite thoroughly and not drawn any holding penalties, and we've just had a tug here, as we saw in that first period, or interference call in front of the net last night that were very, very weak calls, and you wonder sometimes just what level or what consistency they're calling them on.
You're watching the World Hockey Championships on CTV.
Bill Barber, Van Boxmeer comes in deep, but the Soviets come up with the puck. Now it's brought out by Babanov. Babanov with Drozdetsky drops the puck into the Team Canada zone. Van Boxmeer around the boards. Gretzky left it there, and coming out to center ice, Barber goes after the puck, and it was knocked away from him. Rick Green ahead to Barber. It's over two lines, an offside pass. Five is knocked to the ice by Babanov. Now we'll see what the referee does here.
Well, he said he wasn't going to call anything. He waves it off, but this is probably going to be an instance right now where you should see that right there, a little tripping by Babanov, where Dag Olsen, the referee, is going to have to overlook one on their part, one of their classic dives, because that's the same type penalty that Vive had drawn in the second period.
Also, too, Lou, Babanov, Vive was trying to check him, but Babanov tripped Vive, so it could have gone either way. But as it ends up, neither team gets the penalty. Face-off is inside the Team Canada line. It's a 4-4 tie. Canada and the Soviet Union. Gretzky, Napier, Hartsburg, and Lowe have scored the goals for Canada. Puck is cleared into the Soviet zone. Billy Letanov back for it, and it's brought out now by the Soviets. Out to Makarov. A good move coming in on goal. He can't get a shot. Larionov dumps it in front, and it's taken by Craig Hartsburg. Hartsburg for Canada. Up on the right side, clears it into the Soviet zone. Billy Letanov, he's checked behind the net by Botgini. Here's Bobby Smith trying to get the puck loose. Smith comes up with it in front for Cicerelli, and it just bounced over his stick. Now it's slapped to Billy Letanov, number 14. Bobby Smith in for checking. Hartsburg shot right on. Krejciak stopped that. And it's cleared to Kapustin, trying to get it ahead to Makarov. And back quickly is Reinhardt on defense for Canada. Pass intercepted and brought in, but it's offside as it came outside the blue line, brought in by Krutov.
Well, the Canadians forechecking there, having a couple of opportunities to come up with the puck, but the pass is just bouncing over the stick. One, Bobby Smith to Cicerelli, just about ankle high, where Dino couldn't get a stick on it. Another shot from the point on Hartsburg just was cleared to the side as Cicerelli moving into the net.
One has to be really impressed with the play of the Soviets. They're quite a power in international hockey. They went to the 1948 Olympics as observers, entered their first World Championships in 1954, won that, and they've been a power really ever since. And they're undefeated in this World Hockey Championship in Finland, but in this game they have their hands full with Canada. Here's Five in front. He couldn't get a shot. It's a 4-4 tie as the Soviets come right back again. And that pass intended for Kapustin failed. Gretzky trying to get the puck loose. He gets it ahead to Rick Five. Five overskated it, tried to get it to Kevin Lowe, and it's cleared back into the Team Canada zone. Giles gives it to Five. Five coming out for Canada, stopped at the Team Canada line, and the Soviets bring it right back in again. There's a shot, the rebound, and that's stopped by Joe Melange as Shalamov let it go. Here's Bill Barber of the Philadelphia Flyers, a shot, and a stick save by Krejciak, and it came right off the backboard. Gretzky, Gartner's shot, that hit a defenseman and goes wide. As Gretzky set up Gartner, here's Gretzky again. Gretzky for Canada, swinging around, looking for someone. Gretzky forced back by Kazatonov, now gives it to Rick Green, his shot. Gretzky coming in front. Green has it again. Directs it to Gartner behind the net. He's checked. Gretzky in there. He's hauled down, and there's no penalty there as Kazatonov upset Gretzky. Now the puck taken by Chapelia. 9.5 minutes left to play here in the third period.
A 4-4 tie. Puck cleared into the Team Canada zone. John Van Boxmeer. He's watched there by Kozhevnikov. Now he'll try the other side. Gets it ahead to Gartner. Gartner gets it out to Dale Howardchuk. The 19-year-old youngster shoots the puck into the Soviet corner. Now it's cleared up on the right side. Kozhevnikov, number 16, takes it back in. A weak shot, and Jules Meloche slaps that. Vasiliev has it. Vasiliev in front, and that was blocked. He gets it to Kozhevnikov. And Boxmeer missed him. A loose puck in front of the Team Canada net, and Gartner backhands it into the Soviet zone. It rolls over the line. Babinov gets to it, and it's icing against Team Canada. A 4-4 tie.
This is the World Hockey Championships from Finland on CTV.
Play in the championship round. And this game is tied at 4 as Hartsburg has it behind the net. Greg Hartsburg, number 4, native of Stratford, Ontario, gets the return pass. Coming to center ice. Now he gives it to Reinhardt of the Calgary Flames. Reinhardt, a good move. Back to Hartsburg. His shot. Oh, and slapping away there was Clark, but just failed to get a solid drive on Tretiak. Now the puck's brought out to the line. And it's called on the offside. And boy, this has been another impressive showing by Team Canada.
It's certainly Hartsburg coming off the boards and almost put this one in. You see Bobby swinging at it as it was coming by, just missing the net. The one thing Gretzky, Barber, and Vive have had just numerous opportunities, and the puck just seems to be eluding them in front of Tretiak. That line has been working like crazy in front of that net, and I think they've got one coming if they keep that up.
Here's Giles, number 2 for Canada. He shoots it into the Soviet zone. Kazatonov after it there. He clears it off the board. That pass failed. Giles has it at his own blue line. Gives it to Kevin Lowe, who scored the tying goal here in the third period. Now the pass comes out. Giles trying to hit the Soviet player, and it comes to Rick Vive. Vive inside his own blue line. He's checked. Makarov cleared it in front. Krutov trying to get a shot. Back to Makarov. His drive missed the net. And Gretzky has it for Canada. Here's Gretzky coming up with Barber and Rick Vive. Gretzky swinging to the left. Makes the shot. Spins around inside the line. Gretzky dumps it into the corner. Here's Bill Barber. Vive is right in front of the net. Barber trying to get a shot. He slaps at it. Gretzky has it for Canada. Gretzky behind the net, cleared it in front, and Team Canada just failed to get that loose puck. Now the Soviets get it out. Makarov shoots it in. Krutov going after it. Giles after it. He touches it, icing against the Soviet Union.
And Billy Barber coming down on the line rush, did to the Russians what the Russians had just previously done to Canada. As he was cutting across the line, he just kept the same plane going, and he just cut out one of the Russian defensemen, allowing Gretzky to come around the outside. And there's no way Dag Olsen could call interference on that, because the Russians have done that 2 or 3 times today.
Face off in the Soviet zone, right from the draw. Bobby Smith's shot was stopped by Tretiak. Now it's brought back by Shepeliev. Shepeliev, there's a shot. Jill Meloche stops that. And defenseman Rick Green is after it for Canada. Green in the corner. John Van Boxmeer helps him out. They take the puck loose. Green had it momentarily. Now Shepeliev circling around. A backhand shot. That's stopped by Jill Meloche. And it's cleared up over the glass and out of play. Our next telecast on the full CTV network will be Tuesday. We'll bring you the game between Canada and Czechoslovakia. And that game will be televised at 4 o'clock local time.
There was a Czech that defected today, Bernie, and we were talking to Coach Louis Buka, and he was very concerned about it. He said he could have at least waited till the end of the tournament.
Peter Inacek, a 25-year-old center from Czechoslovakia, has left to join his brother in New York. Peter Inacek, one of the young forwards with the Czechoslovakian team, has left the team and gone to the United States.
And
obviously hoping to get a position in the NHL next year.
And he's a centerman, and the Czechs already had one centerman out with an injury, so they were down to 2, and they were very concerned about that. And the coach, Louis Buka, was told not to take him. They were concerned that he might defect, and he says, we've got to get the best players. I've talked to him. He says he wouldn't, and so he was very upset because he said it's a reflection on the coach's character also, that he was somewhat led astray thinking that the fellow wouldn't do it. He says if he was going to do it, why didn't he wait till the summer?
Here it's a 4-4 tie, Canada and the Soviet Union. The puck is brought back by Kozhevnikov. His shot, that's off Craig Hartsburg's stick and goes into the corner. And he bumps Kozhevnikov against the board. Now it comes to Tumanev. He couldn't handle it, and it's cleared back into the Soviet zone. Kazatonov, number 7. On defense, gets that pass to number 25, Vladimir Golikov. Kozhevnikov's backhander, and Hartsburg blocks that and gets it out. Napier tried to trap it. He stumbles as he tried to get possession. Great effort by Mark Napier trying to retrieve that bouncing puck.
You're watching the World Hockey Championships from Finland on CTV.
It's a 4-4 tie, Canada and the Soviet Union. Kevin Lowe scoring in the third period to give Canada the tie. Mark Napier, Gretzky, and Hartsburg have also scored in the game. Kozhevnikov, Shepelyev, Fedosov, and Shelemov have been the goal scorers for the Soviet Union. That puck fired off the boards, and going back deep into his own zone, number 2, that's Fedosov. On defense with Kazatonov, Fedosov cleared it. It's stopped by Giles off the boards to Mark Napier, but he couldn't control the puck. And it's a break now for Gamayev. Gamayev with Giles after him. Takes it behind the Team Canada net. Giles really had him tied up, and he couldn't even get a pass. Now Bobby Clark goes after it. Kazatonov in front. A shot by Drozdetsky. And Joe Milosh of the Minnesota North Stars makes another big save.
Well, Drozdetsky using a screen in front was Luktov standing right on one side and Gamayev on the other. Got away a shot. Milosh stood his ground as we see the shot coming up right here. Drozdetsky right from the hash mark, putting a good shot on net. Milosh holding on for the save.
Canada very much in the hunt for a medal. Their last medal at the World Championships. They score! Makarov, as that eluded goaltender Joe Milosh.
Right off the draws, puck coming back to Makarov. He gets a quick wrist shot up high, beating Milosh on the glove side, putting the Soviets ahead 5-4. Here's the draw, right back to Makarov. He gets it away quickly, right up high in the upper corner. It seemed like Chile almost might have even deflected a part of that puck.
He seemed to have it played all the way. He had the mid up there to catch it, and it either deflected off his glove or maybe off his stick. So Makarov gets the go-ahead goal. Larionov assisting number 11. So with 4:42 left to play in the third period, the Soviets now lead Canada 5-4. As we mentioned, Canada's last medal was a bronze, and that was at the 78 championship. Canada's last gold was 1961. So it's been a bit of a drought for a gold medal Canadian team, but they did win a medal, a bronze in 78. And are very much in the medal running here as Shepelyev sets it in front, and that backhand shot goes wide. The Soviets leading by 1 goal. Here's Barber. He got out to center. Billy Letnov got a piece of him. That shot is deflected wide as Barber heads to the bench. He's broken his stick. Rick Green for Canada. Ahead to Barber, now to Gretzky. Here's Gretzky coming in with Rick 5. His shot, and that went wide. A good effort by Gretzky going in a 2-on-1 with Rick 5. Now Reinhardt brings it back for Canada. Reinhardt trying to get a shot, does. That's blocked by Billy Letanov. Now it's cleared in front, and up on the right side, the Soviets come out again. Shelemov over the line, and the pass, Tumanev had trouble with it. Shelemov behind the net. Golikov in front, and the puck is cleared outside the line to center. Back into the Soviet zone. 3:20 left to play in the third period, with the Soviets leading by 1 goal. Golikov gets the pass ahead. Tumanev over the line, coming in, drops it to Fedosov. He scores! Fedosov for the Soviets. A perfect drop pass to the Soviet defenseman, and it's 6-4.
Well, a quick breakout play from deep in the Soviet zone. allowed the Russians to come up 3-on-2, and Fedosov, the defenseman, is going to move up here, and he takes the drop pass right from the slot area, firing down low to beat Milosh. In perfect position, Fedosov with a good low shot, beating Milosh, putting the Soviets ahead 5-3.
So the Soviets strike for 2 goals. Makarov and Fedosov. 6-4 is the score. 2-goal differential favoring the Soviet Union. Now here's Kevin Lowe in his own zone to Childs. Both teams at full strength. 3 minutes left to play in the game. Gartner deflects the puck and bounces right to Tretiak. Gartner, after the puck, Propp trying to get it loose. Gartner's broken a stick. He goes to the bench to get a new one. Here's Howard Chuck. In fact, Gartner tried to steal Drozdetsky's stick. Gartner gets a new stick, gets back into the play. This is Dale Howard Chuck. He's stopped, and here comes Drozdetsky. Drozdetsky taken out of the play by Kevin Lowe. Gabayev is hammered by defenseman Giles. Now here's Howard Chuck, number 18 for Canada. Over the line, dropped it in front, and Propp couldn't get to it. It's brought back now. Drozdetsky's shot off the stick of Kevin Lowe and goes high over the glass and out of play.
From Helsinki, Finland, CTV's coverage of the World Hockey Championship continues in a moment.
1:55 left to play in period number 3.
Just a little replay on Bobby Clark here, taking one swing, and I think he comes around and almost takes another one right there. See that? Both baseball and golf, 2 whiffs.
Now Clark getting into position for the face-off just outside his line with Larionov, number 11, and it goes back to Rick Green. Now it's slapped ahead off the stick of Bobby Clark. Here's Mark Napier trying to dig the puck loose. Got away from Van Foxbeer and goes back into the Team Canada zone. We'd like to thank Arthur Harnett of Harcum Consultants for his cooperation in helping bring you these telecasts from the World Championships in Helsinki, Finland. Now here's a chance for Van Foxbeer for Canada, number 6. Takes it behind the net. Billy Letinoff draped all over him. And the puck is brought right back out by the Soviets. Krutov coming in with Makarov. Coming in front, Makarov flips and falls. Krutov brings it back outside the line, and he brought it in. And that's the whistle, the offside, as Krutov was knocked heavily to the ice by Van Foxbeer.
The whistle should have blown before that. He'd already brought the puck over the blue line. The whistle didn't blow, and he goes to backhand the puck backward to his defenseman and put it right up into Napier's face. Right here is where he had just shot the puck. At the same time, he was being checked by Van Boxmeer.
And Mark Napier took that stick right in the face, and he's being attended to in front of the Team Canada bench. He took it just over the left eye, Mark Napier.
On the ice, back-checking Barber, came down and just actually grabbed Barber. And that's why Barber just turned around and flashed him. Since the referee didn't call the first one, he wasn't about to call the second one.
That's Tumanev, number 28. Well, the net is knocked off its moorings. That's something that hasn't happened a great deal. Usually in international hockey, you see that happen all the time, but
well, it hasn't.
The first time.
You're right, Bernie. It hasn't in the Russian-Canadian games, but the other night in the German game and the Finn game, it must have happened about 8 times.
I guess if there was one big disappointment, here's Barber.
Here's the hook right there, so he turned around and flashed him right back. See, the puck wasn't even there. And Numanev just hooked him, or Kozenkov just hooked Barber, so he turned around and flashed him, and the referee let them both go. And that sort of precipitated what happened in front of the net.
You're watching the World Hockey Championship on CTV.
Here's the incident right in front of the net where Tretiak's going to end up with a penalty. He just took a slash at Vive right there, and Barber came in. And then as we see the melee in front, somehow we're ending up with a penalty also to Hartsburg. It's Hartsburg in front of the net there.
So Hartsburg and Barber penalized for Canada. Tretiak will get a penalty for the Soviet Union. They haven't, now they put it up on the board.
He must have thought that Hartsburg was roughing with himself because he's getting a penalty for roughing, and you had someone there roughing with him, all of a sudden the Canadian team playing a man short.
And they give one to Kazatonov as
there.
well.
Finally.
Well, now Kazatonov they have up on the board 2 minutes. Hartsburg 2 minutes. Barber will also get a minor and the penalty to Tretiak. So on his 30th birthday, late in the game, leading 6-4, Tretiak picks up a minor penalty. Going to mention, if there has been one disappointment at the World Championships, Lou, was the play of Team USA. They managed just one tie in 7 games, and the defending Olympic champions, they're going to have a tough time now getting a berth for the '84 Olympics.
No, they won't have a tough time in the Olympics, Bernie. For the Olympic qualification, they take the 8 out of A pool next year, plus they take 4 out of B pool. And already East Germany has said they're not going to go to the Olympics. They're in B pool. That might make it going to 13 teams, and now Poland's even questionable. So they've got an easier time for '84, but next year they've got to go to B pool in Tokyo rather than A pool. And it is a disappointment. It's unfortunate. There were 11 players that couldn't come. 4 or 5 were injured. 6 said they were tired. And the USA team doesn't have as many to draw from as the other teams, or as the Canadian team. And when you start dropping off quality like that, this is pretty tough competition, world-class hockey.
Now here's Giles for Canada. Backhands the puck, keeping it in the Soviet zone. Kevin Lowe trying to take the puck loose. It comes back to Gretzky. Gretzky setting up. Here's Gretzky's shot. That's deflected and just goes wide and comes back. Here's Lukhtov. Lukhtov for the Soviets, an empty net, and it goes wide. Lukhtov fired it wide. 31 seconds left here in the game. Here comes Daryl Sittler. His shot off the arm of Tretiak. The Canadian net is empty. Malach on the bench. Here's Lukhtov again facing an empty net. A shot, and Lukhtov pitches again on the open net. 15 seconds left to play. 6-4 the Soviets. Here's Sittler trying to get it in front. It comes back. Here's John Van Boxmeer. His shot right on. Tretiak makes the save with 6 seconds left.
And that Blitinoff there tied up with Sittler had a fight a couple nights ago. It's the first time we've seen the Soviets have a fight in world-class hockey with Kurt Kleinendorf from USA. And they both stood there and dropped their gloves, and Kleinendorf hit him with a left. He went down, he got back up, he hit him with another one, went back down. And he went to the bench, and you're thrown out of the game, and you're thrown out of the next game. And he didn't want to leave the rink. They finally had to go over and get him out of the building, or off the bench anyway.
Face-off will be in the Soviet zone, the empty Canadian net. The Soviets leading by a score of 6-4. Bobby Clark against Lukhtov. Van Boxmeer, Reinhardt into position. Brian Propp out there as well. It comes back to Reinhardt, a shot. And that's stopped by Tretiak, and that'll do it. The buzzer goes, and the game is over. And the Soviets off the bench to congratulate goaltender Vladislav Tretiak as they defeat Team Canada by a score of 6-4.
This is the World Hockey Championships from Finland on CTV.